So this is my lovely display of miniature orchids. I actually acquired most of them recently. Somebody gave them to me. Well, there's an organization that I guess they base themselves on my block. They actually give away they give away food that they receive from the food bank, and then sometimes they get donations from Trader Joe's. And anyway, so along with the food donations from Trader Joe's, sometimes they get like flowers and they get plants. So so I got these orchids. Somebody dropped them off at the community garden, and it was like a dozen or so, so I gave a few of them away. Let's see, this one and this one I had beforehand, and anyway, but the rest of them I just got recently. But anyway, I wanted to show you how to extend the flowering of the orchid. So so anyway, like you see this here, the orchid blooms. It made a nice stem, and all the flowers, they made their display. Now they're finished. This one here has a little tiny thing. I think it could possibly continue to bloom, but I don't think it will. When it gets to this last one, it usually just dries up and it dies. But if you can catch the stem before it starts to decline, you might be able to get a second flush, or maybe even a third flush. Okay, so let's see. Well, first of all, I'm going to try and get this out of here. Okay, here we go. Alright, so this is the deal, right? So I'm going to take this tag off and talk about that later. So you can see the two little what do you call it? Right there and right there. These are the new live buds that will make another set of flowers. These buds here are spent, except for this last one here, which I'm just gonna pretend it's not gonna bloom, which I don't think it will. Excuse me. So anyway, you can kind of tell the difference because these are kind of open. You know, you can see like there's a little bit of a spot where the flower stem used to be, and then this is kind of a closed bud, and it's still enveloped around the stem. This one also, and then there's this down here. If you cut all the way down here, you won't get a flower. You'll probably get a new plant. So it's up to you what you want, but you know, I just want a new flower, so I'm going to cut above this bud, between the new bud, the fresh bud, and the old used bud. I'm going to cut right there, and hopefully we'll get a new flower. It doesn't always work. I did it with this one here, but it didn't work. So sometimes you get it. All of these flowers, by the way, didn't have you know, they were all, the flowers were spent, kind of like this one. And I cut excuse me. I cut off the flower stem. So let's try this again. So on this one looks like it's going to be a little bit more tricky. Actually, no. It's still got the same two stems. You know, and some varieties actually are more easily reflowering than the others. Let me just make sure. Okay, yeah, so this is the live bud right there, and this is the one that's already spent. So I'm gonna cut it right there. That should be it. And I'm gonna leave the stick that came with the plants and the little clip, so that when and if it does start to bloom again, I can reuse it. In the meantime, yeah, and I'm gonna, yeah, see this one's already dried up and died, so we'll just have to wait for the next real flush. So anyway, when you look at this plant tag here, it says, here, let me see if I can focus better. Focus. So it says to water a ½ cup per week in direct sun. Keep it between 55 degrees and 75 degrees Fahrenheit. So, well, let's talk about the last two. I have been keeping actually these plants back here inside this pot with this Norfolk Island pine. I've been keeping them in here where they can stay kind of out of the sun, because I usually draw this curtain when it's very sunny. On a day like today, this is an eastern exposure. It's still like 8 o'clock in the morning, so you know, I'm not getting a lot of sun through this window. But anyway, so that's, you know, this is not necessarily a good thing. I mean, if I leave these in the window here, which I don't, I just put these here so I could show you, then they would get sunburn, probably sun scorch. So I usually put them over there and I water them. So let's see, so 55 to 75 degrees. This is a good place to have them in the winter when it's cooler. You don't want to have them too hot, like by a radiator or anything like that. And ½ a cup of water per week, that seems excessive to me. I would give them like a ¼ cup. When I got this plant here, these two, it said to give them 1 tablespoon a week, which is what I have been doing, and they're doing fine. So I would say between a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons a week is sufficient. So there you go. That's how you keep your miniature orchids happy. These don't have bottoms, so the water usually will stay in there. It's not a lot, but it does stay in there. So anyway, thanks for watching. The other thing I wanted to mention is that this is some water that I had some flowers in. I guess they were sitting in this water for about 5 days, 6 days, something like that. Because I think I picked the flowers on Monday. So anyway, you know, the water's all cloudy and it smells bad. And, you know, you might be tempted to just pour it out. But this is ideal for watering your orchids, because it's just a light amount of fertilizer, basically. There's some nutrients in the water. It smells terrible, but, you know, once you pour it into the plants, you don't really smell it that much. Not for too long, anyway. So, that's my other tip for orchid care.